Welcome to Window on Well Street, a program that shares information about delayed food sensitivities. Sensitivities that may cause symptoms like headaches, IBS, fatigue, stress, and even ADD or ADHD, to mention a few. I'm Dr. Gabriela Cora, your host, and in today's program, we'll be taking viewer questions from patients who've invested in an immunobloodprint, a simple blood test that identifies foods which could be the cause of many symptoms. My guest today is Katie Sweetrock. She's a health advisor for Immunolaboratories. Her expertise is consulting clients after they have completed their blood testing to help implement their new diet program. Hi, Katie. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It is my pleasure.
Wonderful. Let's go to the first caller.
Hi, this is Celeste from Indianapolis. I tested positively for eggs, but I'm a little confused. Am I sensitive to whites or to the yellows, or should I avoid both?
Great question. Katie, tell us about it.
So the immunobloodprint itself tests the whole egg, and it's a whole chicken egg. So off of those results, you have to assume that you're reactive to both parts. But Immunolabs does offer a subfraction where they actually break apart the components of the egg and test the white and the yolk separately. So then you can determine whether it's one part or both part of the egg that you are reactive to.
So this is great to know. You would then recommend that if someone has tested positive, they should try to figure out if they have some sensitivities to both parts or one.
Correct, because it opens up a lot of options when it comes to cooking. So if there's one section of the egg that you can eat, you can use that as a substitute for the whole egg.
Wonderful. Let's talk about the whole egg as a substitute. What would you suggest if someone is allergic to both parts?
So there are many great options out there. There's many commercial egg substitutes on the market, some made from things like tapioca, potato starch, corn. They're great. They work great in baking. You can also use eggs from other animals, so things like duck eggs, goose eggs, quail eggs. Great substitutes, have the same nutritional value in them.
So how would people know how to get these other eggs?
Usually contacting local farmers, some health food stores carry them, asking around in the area. Most grocers will direct you in the right direction if you are looking for them.
Great to know. Let's say someone wants to do some baking there. What are some of the substitutes they could use?
So the best one that I find to use is things like applesauce, pureed bananas, squash, pumpkins, because not only do they bind the flour together and create that moisture and great component that egg brings to baking, but they also add great flavor. So you can make pumpkin muffins or banana pancakes, things like that make the food more fun and enjoyable.
This is great. How about, do you make suggestions regarding the different lifespan? Like, would you suggest some things for substitutes for kids or adults or older people? What would you suggest?
Well, obviously the fruit is fun for kids, to make the food more enjoyable for them. The commercial substitutes you can always bring in for baking. There are some other substitutes out there that you can bring in. It depends really what you're baking and what you're looking for at that time, which one you can use.
Any other suggestions?
No, not really. Just, enjoy baking and using different products because different ones have different textures. So the more you play with them, the more you actually bake with them, you can get used to their flavor and their texture.
Well, these are great tips. Thank you so much, Katie.
You're welcome.
We've got Dr. Michael Parsons standing by with some alternative food ideas. Dr. Parsons, any ideas for our caller?
You just found out you're allergic to eggs. Oh my gosh, how could that be? Eggs are such a great food, right? Well, that just shows how crazy this world of allergies is. We can't predict. But what I do see clinically is a correlation with skin conditions such as seborrheic dermatitis and migraines. Very common to have an egg issue underlying those conditions. So, you're allergic. Now what do? One of the things you're going to have to be careful of is anything that's already pre-prepared, commercially made. So pastries, anything that has eggs in it, you're going to have to read those labels and probably make other choices. When you're going to be making things at home, oftentimes adding in applesauce is a great substitute to get that moisture into your baking. But there's other egg substitutes available that a health food store will carry. Typically it's powdered and you just add a little bit of water and then you mix it into whatever it is that you're making. But you could also just use egg whites if it's just the yolk that you're sensitive to. Now, if you're eliminating eggs, including the yolk, there's a couple things from a nutritional standpoint you need to be aware of. One, there's a lot of good nutrients in that yolk. So if you're eliminating something like choline is going to be important to replace. Choline is really important for brain health. And B vitamins, biotin in particular, is going to be really critical for you to add in. And biotin is also a critical part of your health for your skin in particular.
Thanks, Dr. Mikel Parsons, and to you, Katie Sweetrock.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
We'll continue with Window on Well Street after the break, but may I encourage those of you watching who may have a family member, friend, or coworker experiencing similar health issues to forward the link below to them. And if you haven't had your immunobloodprint, please learn more and get yourself tested. Remember, there's a hidden link between what you eat and how you feel. I'm Dr. Gabriela Cora, and we'll be right back.